Hey everybody, we're live and we're waiting for, well, there's a JPA,
And
you can see.
And then if you right-click that one and hit, like, I think it's like pin or something. Yeah, pin it.
They're trying
then
to
it
set
keeps
up
that as like the big one.
Welcome to Cine 62.
Because otherwise it'll just flash off to people's faces with like somebody sneezes and it goes to their camera.
Okay. Yeah, we don't.
That's how we typically do it.
Okay. So yeah,
there is.
We do not have. We're far from
go to full screen mode.
Nobody is here except maybe that's Rebecca's.
Full screen.
Somebody's bottle of water there. I don't know.
All right.
Welcome to
I'll be close by, but it should be good. We tested the audio and everything. So once my Emmett checks the mic,
we'll start now, but
it'll be good.
Okay.
Sure, mine.
Okay.
It's not the shrimp. If you see there, you ate all that chocolate. Okay. You gotta think.
Yep. Yeah, must be John Bean. That wasn't John Bean. Let's see. It is John Beam. Hey, Coach Beam. Welcome in, Coach Beam. David Halbert made it to be in person. Looks like it. Thank God we don't have any booming music. Oh gosh. So, let me go over the agenda while they're, doing their thing. So you can have an idea what's supposed to be happening here. Board package. First of all, we have call of order, roll call, then open forum, 3 minutes, reports. Executive Director's report first. There's a second quarter budget report. On the sound amplification code that has to do with sound going into neighborhoods. And then Levy is going to serve alcoholic beverages in the Plaza. Then we'll get the general manager's report. That's from Nicole Strange. So.
Good morning.
Hello, Aaron.
Hello, good morning. You're in person. I'm sorry.
Can I get you a coffee?
I have some.
I'm in person.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful day. And we're going to let you talk about it.
Apparently.
But I also when I was up with and then if I have it, they want to take it back. I got the so let me go get that now. Okay, thank you.
Oh, excuse me for a second, folks. There's nothing like dead air to annoy you, right? Sorry about that. So let's clear that up. All right. The man they're all greeting is John Beam. John Beam is a legendary football coach in Oakland. And first at Skyline, water, high school. And then now he's athletic director at Levy. He's replacing Chuck Baker. Chuck Baker.
Yeah, Kevin, but I think we have more.
Yeah, we do. Okay.
He's got a
Yeah, it looks like we have
Coffee, if you want to get started.
Santa Clara,
Okay. But, you know,
or maybe assistant John.
yeah, we do have more.
Yeah, there's 5 I counted.
He stepped down, and they immediately tapped John Beam. I don't know if it was immediate that they got John Beam to fill in the empty seat.
It's just her. It's just her. You know, she goes to the events.
Right.
The new ones are in red.
We're waiting for Henry Gardner to arrive. Henry is not. He's there. He's not visible.
Right. Okay.
She just reads it anyway.
And
And if you put it on the website, then there you go. Right?
it's. I want to also note that it is 37 minutes past the hour, or 7 minutes past the time of the meeting. And guess what? We still do not have a quorum. We're waiting for Nate Miley. We're waiting for Councilmember Keith Jenkins of District 6. And one other person. Of course, George Ucason Jr. So we're not there yet. We've got Rebecca. We've got Coach Beam. And we have Supervisor Halber, I believe. That's 3. So the roots matter will not be taken up until closed session. So you're not gonna see that. Okay. Henry just arrived. Henry Gardner, which is great. So
Good morning, Zach.
How are you?
I'm good. Yes.
I'm great. Thank you for I think they're all, I mean, mostly, well, I think all of us were collectively very relieved at the preliminary outcome.
Okay, good.
if you're new, by the way,
Yes.
Not certain kind of issues that we need to deal with moving forward.
probably should have done
Right. I mean, for her to say that she was like killing with kindness, she told us that, like, don't be combative with them, don't, you know, whatever. And I'm like, Isabel, like, this is going to go too bad. She was like, I think I can get you through it. And for him to come back and be like, you know what, I'm when she said multi-million dollars, she means like
that's my connection, folks. I
I'll tell
think
you,
I'm gonna move
in the 14 months I've been here,
before it started.
I was like,
Yeah.
finally, something, you gotta break this one. So, you know, because I know you supported, you know, you chose her. She seems incredibly confident, right? She's good at her job, and
It's a live
you know,
mic.
yeah.
it seems like you and her can, you know, they made some really great things.
Yeah, well, she was like, just
While I'm waiting for them, move where the weather's better. Internet weather, that is. Yes, I'm walking upstairs, folks. There. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. They're seated, and we are seated. Much better. Much better. Much better.
Thank you. And as we like to be reminded, always assume that mics are on. Mics are always on.
Well, first time I've ever done that, folks. Okay. We are all seated.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, and with that, we do have a quorum, and let's just make sure that we have all of our key staff here. And also to make sure that I believe it's Barbara Parker is on joining us by Zoom. Make sure she's with us as well. So good morning, just as we're getting everyone to the dais, it is good to have you all here. This is the Oakland-Alameda County Coliseum Authority Board. We are made up of 2 city council members, that is myself and Kevin Jenkins, one is Lydia, 2 county supervisors.
Yeah, I'm upstairs because the internet was better up here.
And we have
So you'll have to come up here. I'll come
public
down later.
members, including our new public member, John B.
Yeah, I'll
Welcome.
get one to come down. They've started. Okay.
This has been approved by the city of Oakland this week,
Okay. Thanks.
as our new public member, so thank you for being here. And with that, we can go ahead and call the meeting to order.
Good morning. Welcome to the meeting of the Oakland-Alameda County Coliseum Authority, Friday, March 8th at 8:44 a.m. It's the special meeting. If members of the public would like to speak on items when the time to address the items on the agenda is announced, you will be prompted to raise your hand so that we may see the number of speakers in the queue. We will note the last name in the container before we take comments. The host will call the identifier of each raised hand one by one to allow comment. Please do not raise your hand before the invitation to speak. The host will lower the hands of those who have raised their hands before the invitation. All members of the public at the time of the announcement will have the opportunity to comment on items on the agenda. Members of the public will also have the opportunity to comment on items not on the agenda during open forum. For roll call, please respond present when your name is called. Commissioner Beam. Commissioner Halbert.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Iglesias.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Jenkins.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Thompson.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Vukasin is excused. Vice Chair Miley.
Here.
Thank you. And Chair Kaplan.
Here, good morning.
Good morning. We have a full quorum. The next item on the agenda is open forum. So for members of the public wishing to speak on an item not on the agenda, please raise your hand. After your name is called, you will have 2 minutes to speak. There are 4 members of the public wishing to speak. The last person in the queue is Theodore. Mr. Abraham, you will be allowed to speak.
Thank you and welcome everybody for really is our first meeting of the year. But I want to take this time to welcome the legendary Coach John Beam. And Coach Beam, as a loyal Skyline High graduate, class of '80, I want to thank you very much for bringing victories to my high school. And of course, now you're at Laney. And I'm glad you're here because you can advocate for OAL championships to be played in the stadium, a refurbished stadium, I might add, which should happen within a sports commission structure and a stadium authority. Coach Beam, we're blessed to have you. Thank you. Welcome.
Next person in the queue is Hal Gordon's iPhone. You have 2 minutes to speak.
Hi, thank you so much for letting me speak. I'm just here to advocate for the Joint Powers Authority to approve of the Roots and Souls attempt to lease the Coliseum for 2025. They're a great community organization. They're community owned. I hope that happens as soon as possible so they have some understanding what's going forward. And I'm also here to advocate for the, to say strong against John Fisher's attempt to continue to lease the Coliseum past 2024. I think the commission should insist on a promise of an expansion team if you're to continue the A's lease, and if not, to prevent him from getting over $200 million in RSN money if he stays in Oakland, which he'll just take and use to help build his stadium in Las Vegas, which he currently can't finance. So I hope Oakland won't help him build that stadium in Las Vegas by allowing him to remain without an expansion promise. When they say that they can't promise an expansion, just insist on a clause that says the A's will owe Oakland a huge sum of money if we don't get an expansion team. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for all your hard work, guys.
Next person in the queue, Nick Danoff. You're allowed to speak. You have 2 minutes.
Hello, my name is Nick. I'm a proud Oakland resident, and today I'm just asking you to do 2 things. Number 1, please approve the Roots Coliseum lease. This team really exemplifies being dedicated to the local community and richly deserves having clarity on where they're going to be playing next year. Of course, the Roots lease will also bring in much needed revenue at the Coliseum in 2025. And critically, the A's have said they're fine sharing the stadium should their own lease be extended at the Coliseum. So secondly, regarding the A's lease, I'm going to echo on the points that Hal just made. Please hold firm in demanding nothing less than a future for Major League Baseball in Oakland. As we can see, the A's desperately need to stay on their lucrative local TV contract to make the finances for their Vegas plan work. So if the A's are going to stay at the Coliseum beyond this year, your commission must demand that either the A's work with MLB to secure approval for a future expansion team in Oakland. And again, as we've all seen, MLB kind of statements about we can't do this or this is how things always work is clearly very flexible, as seen in how they waived relocation fees for the A's to move to Vegas. All sorts of other things they've done to bend over backwards for John Fisher. So they absolutely could make this happen if the A's are desperate, and they clearly are. Certainly you can leave the door open for the A's to come to their senses and realize they can't make their Vegas pipe dream work financially. And if that's the case, they make a long-term commitment to Oakland, then certainly we can extend the lease through that means as well. But either way, please demand a future for MLB in Oakland if you're going to extend the lease to the A's. Let's not aid and abet the A's leaving and essentially pay for their plane ticket out of here. Please hang tough. Do what's right for Oakland A's fans. Thank you so much.
Hello, Mom. Hello. A little after this.
The next person in the queue is Theodore. You're allowed to speak. You have 2 minutes.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
No, I gotta go though. Okay.
We can hear you.
Hi, first off, I'd like to say my name is Theodore Allen. I'm a resident of Alameda County, and I have been in my entire life. I'd like to thank you all for your hard work for the city and the county. I would like to urge you all to please approve the routes lease for starting next year at the Coliseum, and also to please hold firm on demanding a long-term Major League Baseball presence in Oakland in exchange for extending the A's lease. Either the A's commit permanently to Oakland, they sell to someone who will, or we get an expansion team. That's the only way I would like to see the A's extend their lease in Oakland. Please hold firm with your demands. Thank you. I appreciate you all.
Thank you. The next person in the queue is Art Blackshear. You're allowed to speak. You have 2 minutes.
Hi, my name is Art Douglas Blackshear. I'm a 61-year-old man and a 61-year resident of the city of Oakland, California. I'm the host of the Black Business Roundtable. I humbly ask that each and every one of you consider moving forward with Ray Bobbitt, one of the probably the first African-American owned organization that is trying to develop the area around the Coliseum. And as we know, the Hagenberger corridor has been bombarded with the loss of businesses, considering we've lost Black Bear Diner. We're losing In-N-Out Burger. We've lost Denny's, Starbucks, one of the first Black-owned Philly cheese sandwich shops on the Hagenberger corridor, as well as excessive violence and robberies at the gas stations that surround that area. I am a strong advocate for Black businesses, not just here in Oakland and Alameda County and the state of California, but all across the United States. There's an organization that has and is fighting for DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion of businesses of color and of people who work for these big corporations. Ray Bobbitt and his organization has been a beacon here in Oakland for the last couple of decades, if not more. His family continues to fight for equity, inclusion, and equality for Black excellence in the Bay Area. So as we move forward, I humbly ask that you look to protect that legacy that Oakland has, as Angela Davis, Black Panthers, and other organizations have defended Black excellence in the Oakland, the Bay Area, and in the county. And I strongly support and urge you to support AASEG, African American Sports and Entertainment Group, as you move forward in developing the area around.
Your 2 minutes are up, sir. Thank you. The next person in the queue is CFI Development. You're allowed to speak. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Sorry, my name is Bo Blanchard. Actually, that's my work email or Zoom. I just wanted to advocate for the along the lines of the previous routes lease at the Coliseum. It's community owned, and we really need, as Oakland and Oaklanders, something to root for. Somebody who cares about us, and something that we can take some pride in, which of course leads us to the A's. My beloved A's, my entire life, never been abused so bad by an ownership group, including the city, the county, the fans. And it's our team. It's not John Fisher's team. And the city has a moment here of leverage and an opportunity to actually make a stand to Major League Baseball and the rest of the world that has been, speaking down about our beautiful city. And I just want us to stand strong against the A's in terms of their efforts to leave. And please fight for our team to stay and don't give in to John Fisher. And I do appreciate everything that you guys do. And hope you guys have a lovely Friday. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person in the queue has a phone number ending in 0825. You're allowed to speak. You have 2 minutes.
They should always have a person write their name down before they
Hi,
say.
good morning. My name is Michelle Gray. I'm a constituent in Alameda County.
Good.
I'm calling this morning to ask the JPA county supervisors in the city to please approve the lease at the Coliseum for the Oakland Roots and Soul. These are organizations that have shown that they're truly committed to our community by opening up even community investment opportunity. I would strongly also encourage the supervisors, the JPA, and the city to hold firm in their negotiations with John Fisher and the Oakland A's. They have 1 foot out the door, and truly all they want is to continue to extract from the city rather than contribute to it. Unless their lease extension includes a permanent presence for baseball and the MLB in Oakland, their lease should not be extended beyond 2024, especially if it comes at the expense of other community organizations that are truly committed to the community, like the Oakland Roots and Soul. I have written letters to all of these parties already, but just calling in again to further express my thoughts, and I thank you for your time and your work on this.
These folks have no idea how this works.
Thank you. Next person in the queue, Jared Isham. You're allowed to speak. You have 2 minutes.
Hi, my name is Jared Isham. I am a Sacramento resident and advocating for you to support the lease extension or the lease for the Soul and the Roots to play in the Coliseum. I think this is a good move on your behalf to bring in people outside of the Alameda County and Oakland areas to bring in additional revenue. I would come spend lots of money there if those teams were approved to play at the Coliseum. And I also advocate for you to stand firm in your negotiations. The A's definitely need that RSN licensing money to fund their stadium in Las Vegas. And I think you should stand firm to not give them this funds that would help them vacate the area, but only extend the lease if they commit to a long-term presence in Oakland to build a stadium, contribute back like the Soul and the Roots already do. Thank you.
This is so stupid. So just don't get any money at all. Gotcha. Wow.
The last person in the queue to speak is Steve Kent. You're allowed to speak. You have 2 minutes.
Hello, my name is Steve Kent. I'm a resident of Sacramento, a lifelong A's fan, and I want to urge you all to stand firm with the A's. Don't let them stay unless they commit to staying, or the league promises to bring an expansion team to Oakland. The green and gold means a whole lot to a lot of people, not only in the Bay Area, but in Northern California. So please hold strong. This means a lot. This means a lot to a lot of people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I really want to thank and appreciate all the staff here who are doing the hard work to bring in events, bring in activity, make sure that we keep this large public facility alive and thriving and generating jobs and revenue. And I also really want to appreciate all the members of the public who have called in to share your commitment and your concern and your desire to make sure that we are building successfully with those who are building with us. So thank you all very much for the public comments. At this time, we can go to the minutes.
Okay. The next item on the agenda for approval of the minutes.
Move approval. Sorry.
It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no hands, do they call the roll?
Do we need to take comment?
I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Was there any public hands raised for the minutes?
For members of the public wishing to speak on approval of the minutes, please raise your hand. We have one hand raised.
Okay.
Mr. Abraham, you are allowed to speak for 2 minutes, please.
Thank you. Just procedurally, I think it's a good idea that we align our tasks for the year so that we have some comfort whenever we cancel a meeting as to what is to take place. And it would help, I believe, Henry, our executive director, and Renee, his assistant. They're only 2 staff members for the JPA. And we have to do a better job of helping them out and aligning exactly what's going to happen when to the best of our ability. And, you know, so anyway, that is my plea to you all, that we can do that and then get them some internships from the University of San Francisco's sport management program, as well as something I've advocated for years, which would really help them out and help the organization out as well. Thank you.
Okay. On item number 4, approval of the minutes, the motion moved by Commissioner Hallberg, seconded by Commissioner Jenkins. Commissioner Hallberg, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Iglesias?
Aye.
Commissioner Jenkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson?
Aye.
Commissioner Bukasin is excused. Vice Chair Miley? Chair Kaplan?
Aye.
Is 6 ayes.
Thank you so much. Before we go on to the next item, it's my understanding that the city attorney has something to share with us regarding the agenda. Our attorneys have been working hard to clarify what things are open session, what things are closed session, how various items get handled properly, and so wanting to make sure that we're doing everything with the utmost of accountability, transparency, and appropriateness. I wanted at this point to allow our city attorney to weigh in.
Ms. Parker, you're unmuted. You may speak.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning, Commissioners. In light of new information, the closed session isn't necessary today. Accordingly, after consultation, I have advised the Chair and Executive Director to cancel today's closed session. A report regarding this matter will be forthcoming. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. I do want to say that I am fully prepared to call a special meeting quickly so that we can have an appropriate open session as the attorneys are finalizing the content for that to make sure that that is handled properly.
Clarification on that. What the heck's going on?
I think the work the Roots and the Soul have been doing is excellent and is worthy of praise and is deeply committed to community, and that we should be working actively and diligently with Roots and Soul to ensure that we are supporting their ability to thrive and succeed and play and practice and all the things they need to do to grow and thrive in our community and create both excitement as well as jobs and revenue. Mr. Executive Director, I believe you mentioned maybe next Wednesday, but we'll check with everybody on the timing.
We will,
we
invite by council, but that doesn't mean.
Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Executive.
I'm sorry, I missed the question. Was the question why cancel the closed session? I guess we've been, my question is, are we going to vote to eliminate the closed session? I hear that we've been advised to eliminate the closed session, but I don't know that it's required. Maybe it is, and maybe I'm the only one that says meet anyway, but I just I ask the question, does that mean that we're required to do it? That's suppose I don't see why. I'm not fully understanding why. All I heard was new information, therefore advice. We're in our concession, but turn one to tell us exactly why we should keep canceling this, so we won't listen to it. Thus far, I haven't really heard a good reason other than they want us to cancel it as to why we can't. That is a question, Madam Chair and the Commissioners, the Executive Director, it's not qualified to answer.
Okay, so we.
And I do not, let it be clear, I have not been evasive, I've been direct. The question.
Hey, JPA meeting, folks, here. Barbara Parker just came through and announced that, hey, they can't do closed session, which means they can't do the roots issue today.
Cancel this
but
closed session.
No explanation as to the legal issue, why that is. So, big mess.
Madam Speaker,
Continues to
you're
be
able
big.
to hear the questions and comments from the board members?
I was not.
Barbara.
It was
Barbara.
drifting off.
I believe
I told Rebecca I have a
the
sound
question
problem.
was why do we not meet in closed session? That was a question from Supervisor Howard is asking.
Oh, okay. I can answer that. As I said, new information has come to our attention and we need to work through that and be prepared to make the proper presentation and recommendations as joint legal counsel. And so for that reason, there's no need for the closed session and we don't think it would be necessary or fruitful or useful to have it today.
Could you elaborate on what that new information is and whether it's okay for us to move into closed session to discuss whatever we can discuss? And then if we have a subsequent, another closed session in the future, perhaps next Wednesday, we can resume then as well. But why could we still go into closed session today? Because it is noticed, and maybe we can ask the questions that we have and would be better prepared for the next week when we do meet. I guess what I'm asking is, I understand you have the information. I don't know what that is exactly. I understand that maybe we can't talk about everything that we might want to talk about, but there's still an opportunity to have today's closed session. Is there not?
Thank you. May I respond, Madam Chair?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes. So, as you know, under the Brown Act, there are very limited and restricted bases for closed session. And when we go in, we need to be, with respect to the real property exception, seeking direction regarding price, terms of payment on deals. And so when we go in, we need to be prepared as the negotiators and the legal counsel to have that specific discussion. And we're not prepared to do that today. So I think it's premature. We thought we'd be in a different place, but because of the new information, which I'm not at liberty to mention at this moment, because it's an evolving issue, that is why we think it would not be appropriate to have a closed session today. And that, as I understand it, we're looking forward to a meeting in the near future. So that would be my advice.
And if I could clarify, I understand there's been some discussion about whether that subsequent meeting would potentially be an open session.
Yes.
And then I'm just trying to translate from lawyer to policymaker, if I may. And so if I understand correctly, what you all are still looking at is what items are properly closed session versus what items are properly open session.
Yes, and the timeliness of when you go into closed session so that you are certainly clearly within the framework So that is our advice as joint legal counsel, that we should cancel the day and then have a meeting. It sounds like we're looking into next week, by which time we will be prepared to determine whether open and closed session are appropriate, or just an open session, or just a closed session. So that would be our advice.
So we don't have to take the
And
advice,
then,
though.
so it sounds like regardless, we would need a meeting next week to resolve it in any case. So the potential that's been suggested is next Wednesday. We want to see if that may work for folks. And I do just want to know, I know we had this interjection at this time, but we still do have item 5 open sessions to do here now. So folks can look at their calendars and ponder, and we can take item 5. Supervisor Michael.
Yes, first of all, I just want to say that I don't know if the information you gave here. Appreciate knowing that as a vice chair of the JPA, member of the board of supervisors, at some point, whatever information we're talking about. Secondly, I know I can't do next Wednesday. My schedule's already booked. I'm booked until next month and beyond. It's tough getting this meeting on my schedule. Yeah, I mean, schedule Friday, so we should keep that in next Friday. That is the mark of my schedule, JP. And I think that's all I want to say at this moment. So.
Thank you so much. Why don't we go ahead and take item 5? Call that in, please.
Next item on the agenda, item 5, reports.
Wow.
5A, executive director report.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners. This report was prepared for February meeting. And what is before you, we have not yet updated that. We will be doing that after the April meeting. This is the second quarter budget report. I asked the assistant controller of the county to keep the share his screen as we go through this. I don't know if Mr. Lawyer is able to do that. If he is, you will see chart on the screen. I will walk you through this, and I hope that it's communication. In various areas, we have to share it. We can learn about our budget for the first time.
And the document, to be clear, that you're walking us through is the one that's in the package.
That is correct.
So for those, the agenda, if you're watching online, the agenda is on the website, and this is the spreadsheet. And
I think that Mr. Boyer has that now.
well, there's sure you can put it on the screen, but also people.
Yes, I see it.
Okay, go ahead, thank you.
We try to give you a report at the end of each quarter as we're marching towards the end of the fiscal year to inform you of how our finances are shaping up. So this report covers the first half of the year. The Joint Powers Authority is on a fiscal year basis, which is July 1st to June 30th. At the time of this preparation, we were projecting a balanced budget, and we are continuing to project a balanced budget. We do not have yet the clarity that we would want in order to tell them to what degree the marching in the right direction. You will recall that last year we had a banner year. We cannot promise that this year, but we can promise is that we're doing everything we can think of to make sure that not only are we balanced, but that we end the year with less reliance on the city's general fund and the county's general fund. Obviously, we're not in control of all of that, but I want you to know that we are doing everything we can to minimize that. The budget for operations, our revenues, 27 million. And as of December 2023, we have received approximately half. Most of that is related to the city and county's contributions. We budget the city and county's contributions at 10 million each, and then in November, December, when we are able to true up our numbers, we'll have a better indication what that number is. We budgeted 10 million for debt service. That is the Warrior settlement. We have received 436,000 of that as of December. That balance is due in February, and that amount has been paid. So when we present our next report, it will show that the 10 million has been collected. Our expenses are in various categories. The largest of those is our operating expenses, which is $13 million. At the end of the second quarter, that's half the year, we are already about 1/4 of that. Those expenditures will see an increase as we go through the rest of the fiscal year. But we are projecting that they will be within budget and make sure the rest of them. Management fees, another large portion, is about $1 million. It's a little less than half of the number that we budget for this period. All the other expenditures are in line with the budget. Administrative costs, when we look at that, that is $485,000 of administrative costs. It's an unfunded liability of closed retirement fund, which the Joint Powers Authority assumed the responsibility and liability for. Just one sentence about the history of that. Prior to the Joint Powers Authority being created to take over the full operation of the complex, the previous corporation had a defined benefit plan for its employees. That then became our responsibility. And it is right now underfunded. So when you look at, I think it's about $900,000 from benefit costs, half of that is related to the retirement fund. That is not compensation for the executive director, the assistant. I just want to make that clear. We are well under budget for our legal expenses. I'm highlighting that so you can run those up. But just to show that our appointed counsel, they're volunteers, actually. So I want you to be a little bite. This is their in-kind contribution to our operations that they have not spent anything. And so I want to highlight that. The rest of the administrative expenses are well within what we budgeted. Capital outlay is slightly under budget, as we're looking at our capital expenditures at this time. So when we present the next report, that will cover the period through March 31st. And we will have a clearer picture of how the finances are shaping. I just want to assure you that we spend managing this budget and working to bring defense into these companies. I'd be happy to respond to your questions or comments.
Well, thank you so much to our executive director. I want to say our executive director, former city manager, and longtime dedicated person in our community. Thank you for the work for you and the whole team here, because we have been doing better budget in multiple categories. And I will just make a comment about not being penny wise and pound foolish. As my colleagues may know, I served on this board multiple terms, and one of the things we did on one of my prior terms is we voted to authorize hiring outside counsel to help us with a debt pending dispute, which resulted in us gaining $15 million for the expenditure on the council, of the council's bar, below the amount that they were able to get us. And so I do want to make sure to follow up Supervisor Albert made a comment that I really want to spur turning that comment into reality, which is to not understand where we may benefit from counsel in particular situations that could be helpful in this body. And I was willing to bring back an item on that, potentially to do that, but I do think, and that's no disrespect to anybody here. Our city attorney and our county council are dedicated, valued public servants. But there have been occasions where it has benefited this body to have a special counsel for the needs of this body.
One quick response to that. I do want to make it clear in the record that I have not received any reticence from our joint council regarding outside counsel if an issue arises where their judgment that is beneficial. To my knowledge, that has not yet arisen. It's always in a reasonable budget. It is in the budget that if the consensus is that we need outside counsel, absolutely we should engage.
Thank you. Absolutely. And we will work on advancing those issues, but also I want to not detract from the budget as a whole is actually quite impressive. So thank you for walking us through it, and thank you for the diligent work managing the line. Commissioner Howard.
Yes, I wanted to echo those comments. Indeed, Mr. Gardner, a very well run machine. Tight ship and control things admirably. The team that we hire to work with us is doing an outstanding job. Most of the items either over revenue or underspent, which leads us to, I guess, at some point a refund. Which we just did. Yeah, I know, right? This is amazing. And I also say keep up the good work. The question I have about the pension liability is, if you could just share with us how has it gone up or down over time, or remained fairly stable, say over the last 5 or 6 years? And is it at a place where we just think everything is good, or do we need to keep making progress one way or the other? If you could answer that, and then lastly, I just want to say, and before you answer that, I'll just echo, our attorneys work hard, and we have strapped in on so many different issues. And I don't know on the Oakland city side, but on the county side, the things that they work on are so complicated. And so sometimes maybe it is important that we would have somebody with outside view or specialized view, or just even the capacity to do these things. It's been really their volunteers. And sometimes you get what you pay for. So if we have to pay, then maybe we need to do that just to increase capacity. You know, these markets are hard to find. So we'll leave that for a future discussion. But Mr. Gardner, pension liability, okay on that? No. So we have to make progress in one direction. Let me see if I can summarize. Prior to the establishment of the joint powers authority, the complex was run by the Oakland-Alameda County Coliseum in Coll. And under that structure, the then board created this defined benefit retirement, which is what you had. The city and the county, I think the attempt was to provide employees with something like the same level of benefits. This complex operation, in my opinion, looking back, has been very clear to the civilians then and now. What that requires is that the plan, there is an actuarial evaluation as there is with growth. And this is every 3 years or so. And they look at how much money is in the plan They make assumptions about the life expectancy of the people who are still in the fund. And then they look at the funding. And when they match all those things up, they decide you are funded in accordance with the standards, or you're underfunded. And for several years, we never heard from them. The plan is moving along pretty well. In the last 3 or 4 years, Mr. Boyer was very involved with the election of the state. But it seems to me that in 2019 or 2020, we heard from the plan that it was underfunded. And they told us that the level of underfunding was we're going to have to contribute about 400, the numbers in here, of 85,000 a year. We budgeted for that. And we thought that, okay, it's 3 or 4 years and now the plan is completely funded. We were told more recently that if they require yet another year of funding at around the same level to make sure the money is adequately funded. All of which, this is not going to be brief, all of which has led your auditor controller, Ms. Rowe, and Mr. Boyer, to start ruminating over the question of whether or not we should look at perhaps putting this plan out to insurance companies so that we're covered. And there are 2 reasons for that. At the rate we're going right now, there is likely to not be a joint policy problem. Once the county is no longer part of the authority. And so we really need to try to get to some finality on this issue. And so we're going to be looking at that. I do have some stated familiarity with plans where the number of beneficiaries has gotten to a level where it's almost more expensive to administer than it is to put out a bid and have a qualified insurance company buy it and then we're out. My recollection is there's less than 50 people at the time. So that's another reason to think about just our cost of still being involved. And then the bigger question is once there's not a joint powers authority, where's this plan going to be housed? So that's a long-winded answer. We're working towards excellent.
Thank you for that. And it does sound like regardless exiting it could be wise. Even if we were to choose to extend the JPA or something, it still sounds like it would be wise to come up with a strategy that is this responsibility.
Supervisor asked another question, which I don't expect to answer. This question was follow-up question.
We'll bring that. So in terms, are there any other questions on the budget? Because I want to make sure we get to the rest of them. Any other questions on the budget?
Yeah, I have one.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they pulled like a little bit.
We talked about, we have a family here. One for venue, and here, not this year. This is a problem. Explain that, later, different times. Sure, no, good question. At this point in time, we are motivated to project what the surplus might be at the end of the year. As we get to the budget, which will be presented to you in June, we will have some better perspective on that. But when we talk about that, we urge you not to get locked into any specific number because there is a tail end of all this. And our auditor controller has cautioned me several things. Do not put out any numbers until we have done their final audit and we'll find numbers. But we're hoping and believe right now that we will do better than breaking, but it's just too early to speculate about. I will emphasize again, last year was quite about that.
Well, thank you for that, and I know we'll hear more about that in the general manager's report. Once you conclude it, County, you would emphasize the budget. Go ahead.
One is a sound amplification ordinance. We had a lot of previous discussion about this, and briefly, what it is that under the then existing city code for sound after 10 o'clock, it's required. And we were asking and were successful, the city council did approve, and then eventually that would allow us to have up to 10 events that go past 10 o'clock, but they have to shut down at 11. This is all related to stadium events. The arena is not involved, there's no sound issue. We are hoping that we can generate that 5 to operate, but we asked for 10 just in case we are luckier than we think we might be. That's really important to your bottom line. These concerts generate substantial amount of net revenues to us, and our competition are the 3 at Santa Clara, Stadium, San Francisco, and us. There are not that many concerts that come this way, so it's very embedded where promoters need seating capacity of a football stadium. Business. So we want to be positioned so that we can compete for more of those events. Now, this does not include outdoor activities. They are still limited to 10 o'clock. So if we have some concert in the parking lot, they have to shut down at 10 o'clock. This gives, and this brings us in mind with those who are free and have other 2 competitors. They currently have 11 o'clock. So we would ask the city council to bring us in line with that so we can improve our competition for getting these students to come up. That's what that is.
Well, thank you, and that is absolutely relevant to the other question about the budget, because being able to have these events will definitely positively impact revenues. Thank you. And I'm sorry, there's one more item.
Unless there's comment on something. We have had a number of conversations regarding serving alcohol in the Plaza area. And Paramount had to do that at the A's, and we worked out an agreement where now Levy will be able to serve alcohol in the Plaza. Their process to get the liquor license to do so. Paramount will go in the States. That's important to us because we were getting nothing from the Paramount operation. And with Levy operating in the Plaza, we get this liquor. That's all I have.
Thank you. So we get split commissions on that, so that will also be another revenue source. Excellent, great work. Commissioner Jenkins.
So is it appropriate to ask what's the commission split that we'll receive from that, or is that something that's called?
That's no, it's public record. It's in the lease. I don't know offhand, it's kind of complicated form actually. I don't know if Greg or Nicole, if you can remember what that split is. And it got a little complicated because of COVID. So we accommodated that for the first 2 years, and then the next 2 years is a different form.
It's a little complicated, but it starts at 35%.
That's my other part of that. For all of these accolades you can get, who are you?
Well, then let us officially go to 5B, the general manager's report, and invite you up because this is also where we get to hear about some of the exciting things that the team here has been doing to bring in new events and activities and jobs and revenues. So you have a
Good morning. I wanted to welcome Coach Beam to the commission. Thank you for being here. And I also wanted to publicly give a shout out to our city and county council, specifically Andrew Weddle and Jamila Jefferson. They work tirelessly behind the scenes and are extremely helpful. So I just wanted to take a moment and just say thank you to both of you. So I'll start off with the event activity, the added events. Mirror, April 5th, and Hyphen, April 26th. Charlie Wilson, April 27th. Diljit Dosanjh, May 11th. Itzy, June 8th. P1 Harmony, June 14th. Shreya Ghoshal, June 22nd. Satinder Sartaj, June 29th. IU, July 30th. Not on your schedule, it was just announced. Chris Brown, July 31st. Ringling Brothers, August 30th through September 1st. Usher, September 28th and 29th. Cigarettes After Sex, October 5th. That's exciting. Bonda MS, November 2nd. Barca MP, November 30th. And the new date for 85 South is June 23rd. I also have some miscellaneous items I just want to read off. Along with the exciting new show announcements I just shared, I'm proud to highlight a few updates about our marketing campaign, new partnerships, and venue enhancements here at Oakland Arena. In late December, we launched our Proud to Be Here campaign, a celebration of the great pride Oakland Arena has as a convener of people in the heart of Oakland, and as a pillar for positive change in the community through our partnerships and how proud we are to host iconic talents taking the stage on show night. We also have two partnerships. First, with the Positive Coaching Alliance, a national nonprofit headquartered right here in Oakland, and its Youth Sports Equity Coalition. We've joined the coalition as an active member to support creating more opportunities for kids to play sports in Oakland, and will also host upcoming meetings at Oakland Arena. You can read more about this on our website's news page. Secondly, we're in the final design stages of an apparel line in partnership with Oaklandish that celebrates Oakland Arena and the Oakland community, launching in April. We will showcase the merchandise at the arena, and guests can purchase online directly from Oaklandish. Throughout the arena, we've enhanced our wayfinding and entryway signage, and we are excited to share more about a new activation on the main concourse in the coming months to celebrate the rich history of Oakland Arena. On February 8th, 2024, the Oakland Private Industry Council organized their first New Year Career Resource Expo, hosted in the East Side Club at the Oakland-Alameda County Coliseum. Over 70 assistance organizations and employers were featured. They collaborated to offer resources and employment opportunities to approximately 750 attendees. The event provided a valuable platform for the community to explore new job prospects, establish networking connections, and receive access to career development resources. Overall, the event was a great success, delivering significant opportunities to the Bay Area community. Tomorrow, on Saturday, March 9th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., the AG Oakland Community Foundation will be partnering with East Bay Consortium to host a free financial aid workshop here at Oakland Arena. This community event is geared to provide high school students and their guardians essential information and guidance on applying for financial aid for college. More information and how to register can be found on our website. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And again, the list of events is in the agenda packet, which for members of the public is on the website with today's agenda. And this is an excellent set of events that you brought in, including a multiplicity of new ones since the prior report. And again, this is part of why last year we had such a banner year that we were able to have a budget surplus. And I'm thrilled to see more events lining up this year as well. So to my colleagues, are there any questions or comments on the report?
Great job.
Good comment. And now for section 5 of the agenda, we'll see if there are any public comments.
For members of the public wishing to speak on item 5 reports, please raise your hand. I see one hand raised at this time. Mr. Abraham, you have 2 minutes to speak.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mr. President. Mike, first of all, just procedurally, there's a nasty problem with the mics at your tables. You sound like you're in a gigantic well. Having said that, my question is for Henry. Great presentation. You probably have some reason for this, but I didn't see the carryover surplus or deficit from the previous period. What was that? And I couldn't hear, your exchange to pick up if that was discussed or not because the mic problem at your tables. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers?
There are no other speakers in the queue with their hand raised.
So thank you so much to the speaker, and I will take that as a reminder to myself and all of us to lean in a little more to the microphones as some members of the public are having a little trouble hearing. So we'll make sure we endeavor to do that. So Mr. Executive Director, the question was there any carry forward?
No, because 10 million, well, let me be more precise. As I recall, the surplus was 10,200,000 and some thousand. 10 million of that was credited to the city and county 5 million each. So carry over, if you will, probably more like 200 some thousand.
That's right, and I want to affirm and support that Alameda County has 5 million back to their budget. It serves a whole array of essential public needs. The city of Oakland has 5 million back to our budget, which we have allocated the bulk of it to strengthening 911 dispatch, including hiring more 911 dispatchers and getting them better up-to-date equipment. So the revenue that we're bringing in by this work to bring more events is having real, tangible, real-world positive impacts back to our various public lands. Okay, back up to the board. Any further questions or comments for section 5? Seeing none, and I assume you don't need to vote on item 5. Is that correct?
That's good.
Okay, so that takes us through that agenda. So Mr. Executive Director will reconfirm with everyone in terms of available dates, and then we will, and with the attorneys, and then having done that, we will post for a new meeting.
We will do that.
Thank you. I want to appreciate you. I want to appreciate Roots and Soul and the strong community and fans who have been working with them and pulling in. And thank you all very much for your time and attention. And we will also follow up on the council matter as well going forward. Of course, with great appreciation and respect, just to make sure we can do all what's needed to be done here. Thank you very much. And with that, we are adjourned.
Wow, how about that? All meeting and hey, Sir Chai, how you doing? And he says, hey, how are you? And says, I can't believe we lost all 3 sports teams. Circus called the JPA. Yeah, well, there is a major problem, and I can't go back to it here, but I did happen to post a video of the issue, but I don't know why, but there is no Roots meeting. Okay. The Oakland Roots meeting was canceled, the closed session. Now, the technical reason for that wasn't shared. Since it has nothing to do with the CIA, why is this something that can't be explained, even in a way that doesn't violate a confidence, if that's the case? But this has been not handled properly. And I think if the Stadium Authority had its own staff and attorneys to focus better on these matters, these situations wouldn't happen in this haphazard way. And this is the first time, this March, the first time we've had a meeting all year. No, not January, not February. I know there are issues and reports left out that very, very well would have come into those meetings in January and February, but they were canceled. And it's heartwarming, however, to note that for this meeting, even though we started late, there was a full quorum of people, and they endeavored to get there. That's great. But we still have these problems with respect to how we do things. And there's a part of me that thinks that they're just going to let the JPA die after all this, because there's nothing on the table regarding reformation so that the JPA has its own revenue stream coming in separate from the events. That's why I was calling for use of tax increment financing. All right. So you can carve out a piece of that for your administrative cost. And that's the proper way you run the organization. Right now, they don't have that. That's why they have two people running this. Two. Okay. So, and then there are issues like this mic. It was garbled. I couldn't hear anything. I could hear from the people at the tables. I could hear Ms. Strange talk. I could hear Barbara Parker come in. Yeah. But in all, and the other problem is this. As much as I adore our elected officials can't be serving as staff. And that's essentially what Rebecca has to do because of the numbers problem, the organization problem. The chairperson should be oversight, but they shouldn't be down in the weeds, putting the agenda together, finalizing the agenda, taking certain items out of the agenda, and so on. And that's the situation we have. So we really need to ask ourselves if we want to get this right, because in my opinion, we're not there. We're just not there. Now, what's going to happen to Roots and Soul? Here's the thing. Barbara said, our city attorney said, well, that was her advice. They didn't have to take her advice. They could have said, we'll take her comment under advisement and we'll move forward appropriately. And that would give her a chance to really, if they had done that, knowing Barbara, would have chimed in and said, well, yeah, we're advising you to do this, but we're not saying this is an option. This is something you have to do for this reason. Okay? Pick a fight with her. Show that you're fighting for the public that wants the Roots and Soul in the Coliseum. Because right now, it looks like another stall. And, okay? So the issue that's out there, that's crazy. It's crazy that it happened that way. But it's something that has to be figured out as to what's going on. All right, so the meeting is over. And I'm going to stop so that it can load and become a video, among other things. All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Sir Chai 87, for your comments. And be back a little bit later. Hey, NFL mock draft tonight at 9 o'clock. We'll see you. 9 o'clock Eastern. See you.